Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope everyone is having a great Saturday. It's the weekend now, so we're going to take a look at a couple of things going on. Obviously, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin, see what's going on there, and Ethereum as well. How is it performing over the weekend? And we also have a couple of stories that we're going to talk about here, which are going to be on Bitcoin regaining 20,000 again. And there's some USDC fears. We're going to talk about that as well. And also, Circle is going to cover any shortfall in USDC reserves, Sparky stablecoin rally. So we're going to talk about all of that. Then after we talk about that, we're going to talk about the Bitcoin miners, see how they did this week compared to Bitcoin. And it wasn't a great week for them, obviously. And lastly, we'll take a look at how the miners did in February. So we're going to do a 7 metrics and 5 metrics on them. We'll go through all the numbers in them and see which one came out on top for both the 7 metrics and the 5 metrics, okay? So as always, you guys know the drill here, not financial advice. This is for entertainment only. Do your own research and invest in following coins and companies for full disclosure. And let's get into Bitcoin, see what's going on there right now. So Bitcoin right now is up, well, it was up a little bit here. It's trading down. What time is it now? I'll just switch over to the new day. So it was up today. If we look at the daily chart here, we can see that Bitcoin was up today 1.93%. So it had a pretty good bounce here from yesterday, from, well, pretty much all of this week was just red. So it had a little bounce here on Saturday, which was nice to see. It was up 1.93%. It closed at 20,620. It is down a little bit now, not too much, but it's down nonetheless, down 0.34%. We bounced off of our support line here. Looks like I went back a little bit here to see if there was any support, and there was really a support line right along here. You can see it bouncing and kind of staying off of this and bouncing below it, staying above it. So we do have slight support there at roughly 19,550, right around there. It bounced off of that. We also did, as we've spoken before, fill the CME futures gap, which is good to see. We are now hanging just above that bottom gap there, part of it, the blue line here, which is good to see also. And the other part of it that's kind of good to see is that the RSI went way down here to about 28 on the daily chart. Last time we were this low on the RSI was back in November of last year. And this is when we crashed down to 15,460. That was the bottom there. The good thing is we're pretty close to that, maybe a little higher on the RSI right now, as the RSI back then was roughly 24, 23, somewhere around there. So we are a little bit higher than the RSI, but price is much, much higher. We are about what, about $4,000 higher in price. So I think this is possibly our new higher low potentially. And if that's the case and we hold this spot around 20,000, I think we'll be good going forward. It's still going to be a bumpy ride nonetheless, don't get me wrong, but at least I think the bottom might have been in at 15,500 here roughly. So that's on the daily chart. If we look at the 4-hour chart as well, we can see here that the RSI went way down here on the RSI here. This was on yesterday, on Friday, it went down to 8. We have bounced off of it. RSI is much higher now. We're kind of in the green area here as far as RSI is concerned, which is fine. What we want to really see is a reversal where the RSI is either flat, going up a little bit, and price is going up much higher. And then where we are in price higher on the RSI, lower. So that's kind of what we're looking for on this one. Same thing with the 1-hour chart right now. RSI has come up here quite a bit here. It went back up to 66, came down a little bit, then we're up and we're trending up higher as well. So we'll see where this one ends up at, but I think we're going to be okay. We'll see. Time will tell. Also, we're still very early in the stages with everything that's going down with Silvergate, with Silicon Valley Bank, everything else. We'll see what the contagion is like and how well Bitcoin can hold out in the short term, I guess you could say. Okay, so we'll see how this all progresses going forward. But right now, I'm a little bit optimistic on Bitcoin right now. Ethereum, if we look at that one was up nicely today as well. It was up 3.6% on the day. So a nice bounce, a little bit of reversal here. And we'll see if, looking at the chart here, there might be some support right around this 1,360 mark. Bitcoin did finish out the day today at 1,483, up 3.6%. It's down a little bit now. On the day, it's down approximately 0.48% to right now 1,476. So not too bad either. We'll see how all of this is going to progress. It's going to be a bumpy ride here in the next couple of weeks. We'll see how the contagion works out, everything else. But right now, it's not looking too bad if both Ethereum and Bitcoin can hold out. So that's those two. Let's take a look at the network hash rate really quick, see if that's changed at all or not. And it doesn't look like it has changed. Yeah, it's still the same. It's still at 317 million on the 7-day average. 1-day average is up a little bit here, might be 291 million. We'll keep an eye on that one as well. Let's get into our stories here really quick, and then we'll get into the miners as well. So Bitcoin regains 20,000 after 200 million in crypto liquidations. Some traders brush off USDC fears. So there were some fears that the USDC was depegging from basically $1 where it should be at. And most of it was based on the amount of money that Circle had in Silicon Valley Bank. as far as reserves. So here's what we have on Bitcoin right now, and we'll get into actually Circle here a little bit. So Bitcoin and Ethereum rose as much as 4% in the past 24 hours after a steep fall on Friday as contagion risks from the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank spread to crypto markets, specifically the exposure of USD coin issuer Circle to the bank. Ether rose over 1,450, while Bitcoin jumped over the 20,000 mark on Saturday to post early signs of market stabilization. Both tokens fell below strong resistance levels on Friday, which we talked about here a little bit. And then total crypto market capitalization fell under 920 million for the first time since November, while over 200 million worth of crypto tracked futures were liquidated in the past 24 hours. That's obviously painful. And then nearly 60 million in Bitcoin futures were liquidated, the most among major cryptocurrencies, followed by 40 million in Ether futures liquidations. Such liquidators likely contributed to the slide in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Obviously, this is what kind of we're looking to see happen. And then meanwhile, some market analysts brushed off prolonged USDC fears, pointing to the token's US Treasury backing. 80% of their assets are in the form of 6-month Treasury bills. Wrote one crypto community member, 85% of those bills have been rolled over in the past 3 months. Interest rate risk is negative, so it doesn't look like that's going to be a problem there. And then here's what Circle had to say on that as well. So Circle to cover any shortfall in USDC reserves, sparking stablecoin rally, which was good because USDC did fall a little bit below their $1 peg. Circle Internet Financial said Saturday it will cover any shortfall in the assets backing its stablecoin USDC in the event it does not receive the entirety of the 3.3 billion cash reserve it was holding at Silicon Valley Bank. So that's a lot. Obviously, only 250,000 is insured with the FDIC. The rest is going to be might take a while. So we'll see how this is going to play out. In a blog post, Circle said it will stand behind the USDC and cover any shortfall using corporate resources involving external capital if necessary. The pledge came as the crypto traders fretted over the value of USDC, a stablecoin meant to be pegged to the US dollar, but which fell in value after Silicon Valley's bank collapse. Circle was holding 3.3 billion of USDC's cash backing at Silicon Valley Bank when the FDIC seized the bank's assets on Friday, and they can usually get, well, it's going to be hard to see if they get 100% of it. If they get at least 97% of that or something close to that, that would be a lot better. So Circle said it attempted to move its assets out before SVB's collapse, and that the transaction could settle on Monday when U.S. banks resume normal operations. However, it is possible that SVB may not return 100% and that any return might take some time as the FDIC issues IOUs, i.e. receivership certificates, and advanced dividends to deposit holders. Circle said the value of the stablecoin fell as low as 88 cents in the last 24 hours before rebounding to about 97 cents after the announcement, according to CoinGecko. So that's good news there. The fear was that if this thing falls, it's going to be a massive, well, pain for a lot of people that use USDC, especially for trading, things like that. It's going to dry up a lot of the liquidity in the system, and people are going to panic and basically sell out of Bitcoin. Everything else is just going to be Armageddon more than likely. Luckily, that doesn't seem to be like it's going to happen. Circle is going to stand by it, so that is good news there. It kind of alleviates a lot of the fears in there. So that's good news there. Okay, so that's it. We'll see what happens over the weekend. We'll do a video if anything changes. Otherwise, I'm pretty optimistic right now. I think we might have bottomed out, but we'll see. Next, let's take a look at Bitcoin, see how it did over this past week with Bitcoin miners as well, how far they've fallen. And then we'll get into the 7 metrics that I use and 5 metrics for the miners for grading them for February production. So looking at the miners here, the green bars, as always, are how far the miners are up from their 52-week lows. The red bars are how far they are down from the 52-week highs. So if we look at Mawson's still up 112% from the 52-week lows. Iris is up 152. Bitcoin is up 29%. TerraWolf is up barely 5.5%. DigiHost is up 267% still. DMG is up 95. Hive is up 72. Riot is up 63. Marathon is up 71. Argo is up 275. Cypher is up 245. CleanSpark is up 19.5. BitDigital is up 88. Hut is up 61. Bitfarmers is 88. Sphere is 21, and Core Scientific is up 495%. So overall, even with this latest decline that we've had in Bitcoin and the miners this past week, they are still pretty much positive, basically from, you could say, from November, from the end of December, I think was when they pretty much bottomed out. So they are still up from that time frame, so we're still looking okay. We'll see going forward if any of these miners actually do start getting new 52-week lows potentially, which would not be good. But it might be an opportunity to buy some more. Okay, if you're a long-term investor in this might be a good opportunity. So looking at the miners here for the first week, well, this past week, we can see here that Mawson has done the best. It's only down 0.82%. Iris is down 1.72%. Bitcoin is down 9.73%, and everybody else below that has done worse. So Terra down 10, DigiHost 11, DMG 12, Hive 14, Riot 16, Marathon 16, Argo 17, Cypher 18, CleanSpark 18, BitDigital 19, Hut 8 19, Bitfarms now 19 as well. Sphere down 25, and the worst one here was Core Scientific down 33% on the week. It was definitely a bad week for the miners. We do get them from time to time when such events happen. Once we start getting more into the bull run, I think things will pick up and we'll start doing a lot better. Now, if we look at the 4-week chart here, it's not looking any better because we pretty much had a great January. February was pretty much flat for the most part, with Bitcoin up a little bit, just a little bit. And then we've had a pretty rough start to February so far. So if we look at the 4 weeks here, descending, we can see that Bitcoin is down 17.82%, Moss did a little bit better, down 15%, and TerraWolf down only 7%. The following have done much worse. Riot down 19%, DMG down 24%, Argo down 27%, Hive down 30%, along with Cypher, Marathon, Core Scientific down 31%, along with Iris, BitDigital down 32%, DigiHost down 34%, Bitfarms down 36%, Hut 8 is down 37%, CleanSpark down 38%, Sphere is down 41%, it looks like on here. So pretty much right after we kind of topped out a little bit here in January, at the end of January, early February, things have taken a turn for the worse a little bit here, looks like. And then if we go back out 8 weeks, we can see it's going to be more of a mixed bag here on the chart. Let's go here. And we can see here that Core Scientific from 8 weeks ago is up still 165%. Iris is up 29%, Cypher is up 20%, DigiHost is up 10%, Mawson is up barely up 1 percentage point, Bitcoin is up, or actually down 10.98%, and then everybody else below that has done worse in the 8 weeks, including Riot down 14, DMG down 20, BitDigital down 20 as well, CleanSpark down 21 along with Argo, Hive is down 25, Marathon is down 33, TerraWolf is down 34, Hut is down 34 as well, Sphere 3D is down 37, and Bitfarms is down 38 from 8 weeks ago. And finally, let's take a look at the 12-week chart here really quick as well while we're at it. So this is pretty much going back to when, well, 12 weeks ago. We're looking towards the end of November, somewhere around there. And you can see here that a lot of the miners are up from that point. DigiHost is up 186%, Argo is up 150%, Cypher is up 144%, Iris is up 115%, Core is up 114%, Mawson is up 75%, Bitfarms is up 72%, BitDigital is up 63%, DMG is up 52%, Hive is up 47%, Marathon is up 47%, Hut 8 is up 46%, Riot is up 44%, Bitcoin is up only 20%. So this is why I cover the miners and things like that, because when Bitcoin does go up, the miners tend to do a lot better. They usually go 2, 3, or 4 times X better. CleanSpark is up only 5.58%. Sphere is down actually 6.3%, and TerraWolf is down 24% from that time. So for the most part, everybody has done better here than Bitcoin, except for maybe 3 in the last 12 weeks. And that should improve for everybody once Bitcoin starts going into a bull run, I think, later on this year, into next year as we get into the halving event as well. Okay, so that's it for the miners on how they have performed this past week. And you can see here we had a really good January where it was pretty much all green here. We had the first week in February was red, the second week was green, and then ever since then we've had pretty much 3 weeks of red and pain. Kind of like what we've had prior to January in December and November as well. It was pretty much red for the most part, with some slight green here and there mixed in with it. Okay, so that's it. We'll see how they continue going forward this week. I'm hoping it's going to be a green week because we've had 3 weeks in a row where we've been pretty much red. So a green week would be nice on that one. Okay, lastly, let's take a look at the miners for February. So I'm grading the miners here on 7 metrics and 5 metrics. So the first 7 metrics are month-over-month hash rate growth, current hash rate that they're in, Bitcoins per exahash. So this is looking at their efficiency. And then we got month-over-month BTC mined percentage, BTC mined for the month, days mined, and then HODL as well. And those are using the 7 metrics, and the 5 metrics we were using, let me see here, which ones are we using here to get the score. So we're using the first month-over-month percentage hash rate, BTC per exahash growth, month-over-month BTC mined percentage, BTC mined, and days mined, in that for monthly operations. And then these include other metrics as well for the 7 metrics. So let's get through these really quickly here, and we'll let you know which one is the winner. I was kind of surprised by this one. So you might be too. So month-over-month percentage hash rate growth, higher is better as always. TerraWolf had the best growth. They had 79% growth on them. Marathon came in second at 30%, followed by Cypher. Cypher is starting to inch up there as well, which is kind of nice to see. DigiHost came in fourth at 5.35%. Iris at 4.6%, so they're in number 5 spot. And then you got BitDigital up just 3.95%. Hive was up 2.49%. Riot was up 1.03%, and then everybody else was flat. The only one that still hasn't provided their numbers was Sphere 3D. So they're going to be at the very end of all of these for this month, for this charts, for these charts. Okay, so those are, the winner was TeraWolf for month-over-month hash rate growth. Next is current hash rate growth. Well, Riot is still king currently, but Marathon is definitely knocking on its doors. So Riot came in at 9.8 exahash, Marathon at 9.5, then you got CleanSpark at 6.6. So in third place, Cypher is also inching up there as well, 5.2 exahash right now, followed by Bitfarms at 4.7. So those are the top 5, Riot, Marathon, CleanSpark, Cypher, and Bitfarms. Then we got TeraWolf, Hive, Hut 8, and Argo are all pretty much tied. Well, pretty close tied, but TeraWolf is up a little bit more than the other ones here at 2.6, followed by Hive at 2.58. Hut is at 2.5, and Argo is at 2.5 as well. So those guys are battling kind of for the 6th spot, really, when we're looking at it. Iris is at 1.7 exahash, BitDigital 1.3, DMG at 917 petahash, DigiHost 752, Mawson 532, and Sphere, well, we didn't have anything from them. Next is BTC per exahash, higher is better. So this is their efficiency. The way I'm grading this is based on the reported hash rate at the end of the month that they were operating at, and the Bitcoins that they mined, and then just dividing the two to get the number. So DMG came in first at 97.27, Hive came in second at 96.69, so that's really good there. And then we get a little bit of a drop here with the next crew here, which is Iris at 87, along with CleanSpark. Those guys are really close together. Then we got also BitDigital at 83, Bitfarms at 82, Mawson at 81, DigiHost at 77, Cypher at 76, Marathon at 71, Riot at 68, Argo at 64, Hut 8 at 62, TeraWolf at 55. So two things can impact this. One is the amount of hash rate increase. The more you increase, maybe towards the end of the month, the lower your score is going to be, because that's going to impact it, because you're not mining for the whole month with that hash rate. The other thing might be also curtailment. So if companies are curtailing, they are going to be having a little bit lower score as well, because they're not operating for the full month as well. Next is month-over-month BTC mined percentage. So we only had really 2 companies here that increased their BTC mined. Mawson went up 23.96%, and that was mainly because I think they were mining for more days. That really helped them out. They did increase, I think they increased their hash rate just a little bit. Let me see. We'd have to go back up here. Did they increase Mawson? Mawson increased it. No, that's not the current hash rate increase. Mawson did not. Okay, so it was just their own days being mined that helped them out. So they were up 23.96 for BTC being mined, followed by Cypher. Cypher installed a lot of machines. That helped them out to get to 16% growth in BTC mined, which was good. And then we have the following companies down pretty much for the month. We also had a shorter month as well, so that plays into it somewhat too. Marathon was down just slightly, 0.58% from the month prior. Argo was down 3.57%. Hive was down 3.85%. So that's kind of within that couple of days being shorter for the month. Riot was down 8.78%. TeraWolf was down 8.92%. Iris was down 9.3%. DigiHost was down 9.98%. DMG was down 10.98%. Hut 8 was down 17.02. CleanSpark was down 17.36. BitDigital was down 19.43. Bitfarms was down 20.37, and Sphere 3D didn't report. So the top ones here are Mawson and Cypher. Cypher, like I said, is starting to kind of get a little exciting here. Marathon, Argo, and Hive, so those are kind of our top 5 here right now. Then when we look at actual BTC mined for the month, you can see here that Marathon came in number 1 at 683, followed by Riot in second place with 675. CleanSpark 576 in third spot. Cypher, again, you can see how they quickly are gaining spots here. Cypher at 398, so they actually beat out Bitfarms at 387. Hive was at 250. Argo was 192. Hut 8 was 156. Iris was 156 as well. TeraWolf was 143. BitDigital was 108. DMG at 89. DigiHost at 58. And Mawson at 43. Sphere didn't report, so they're out. Top 5 are Marathon, Riot, CleanSpark, Cypher, and Bitfarms. And you can see that Marathon and Riot are definitely starting to pull ahead a little bit here. CleanSpark, they're going to be growing quite nicely here later on this year with an additional 2.2 exahash coming online possibly by the end of Q2. So that should help bump them up right now. They really don't have anything planned. Riot still has a lot of machines that need to get installed along with Marathon. Riot is also dealing with a downed facility right now because of storm damage back in December, I believe. So that's taking a hit for them as well. So I expect them to continue to grow. And then Cypher's supposed to be growing a little bit more along the lines, and Bitfarms as well. Hive has got a little bit of growth left. So we'll see where they all end up at. Okay. So that's BTC mined. Next is days mined. So this kind of shows us how long they were mining, and it's based on how many Bitcoins they mined, what their current hash rate is, and that's kind of how I'm able to calculate how many days they were actually mining. So we have basically 3 companies that are tied for first place. You got Hive, TeraWolf, and Iris, both at 28. CleanSpark came in pretty close at 27.58 days, so they're in number 2 spot, followed by DMG with 26.4 days, and then you got BitDigital at 26.3, so that's number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 spot came in at Bitfarms at 26.02. Riot came in pretty close to that as well, 26 days. Mawson at 25.7, Cypher at 25.10, DigiHost at 24.65, Marathon at 23.09, Argo at 20.48, and Hut 8 at 19.69. Hut 8 was saying that they had some issues with some electrical equipment, I believe, in one of their facilities, which kind of did that for them. So continuing on here, let's go down the list here. HODL. We really have only maybe 3-4 players that HODL a substantial amount. Marathon being the king here right now at 11,392. Hut 8 also at 9,242, followed by Riot at 7,058. Something to note of Marathon paid off $50 million worth of debt with Silvergate Bank recently. That, I believe, unlocked 3,000 some odd Bitcoins for them. So they're pretty much, I think, totally unencumbered right now, which is great. Then you got Hive at 2,340, BitDigital at 696.5, Cypher at 465, Bitfarms at 405, DMG at 343.2, Argo at 101, CleanSpark at 100, and you got Sphere 3D at 19, and this could be just old numbers that I have from them. DigiHost at 12.6, Iris at 0, TeraWolf at 0, and Moss at 0. They basically sell everything that they mined. Something to note here is Marathon has sold back in January and February. Hut has said that they're going to be selling as well. So we'll see how those numbers go, continue going forward. But it'll be interesting to see. So top ones are Marathon, Hut 8, Riot, Hive, and BitDigital right now. And then based on all these metrics, here are the winners here. So scores based on 7 metrics. I was surprised by this. Marathon came in first, number 1, with a score of 29. Hive came in with a score of 32. Cypher came in 3rd, so they came out of nowhere and got 3rd spot right now. Riot came in at number 4 spot with 37. CleanSpark number 5 with 43. And then you got Iris, followed by Bitfarms, TeraWolf, Argo, BitDigital, DMG, Hut 8, Mawson, DigiHost, and Sphere 3D. Those are all of our miners that we cover right now, and that's based on including their HODL position and current hash rate. Now, if we just look at the purely monthly operation numbers, they look a little bit different here. So for that, scores based on 5 metrics does not include HODL or current hash rate. This is just on their monthly operations. Hive came in at number 1. Hive came in at number 1, followed by Marathon at number 2. Well, you could say Marathon, Cypher, and Iris came in at number 2 there. CleanSpark came in at number 3 because Marathon, Cypher, and Iris were all at 26 points. CleanSpark came in with 30 points, so they're number 3 spot there. You got Riot at number 4 spot with 4 spot with TeraWolf actually with 33. Coming in DMG at 35, and then you got Mawson at 38, Bitfarms and BitDigital at 39, Argo and DigiHost at 43, and then you got Hut 8 at 53. So Hut 8 pretty much came out the last one, and that's only because Sphere 3D didn't provide any numbers currently. That is it. It's kind of interesting to see, and we'll kind of go over the numbers, how they stacked up for all the miners. So Marathon did pretty well here, month-over-month percentage hash rate growth, along with month-over-month BTC mined percentage. BTC mined as well came in number 1, current hash rate and BTC HODL. Those really helped them out there. Days mined, they were above average than others, so that could improve. And then BTC per exahash should improve also, but they are going to be installing a lot of miners here in the coming months. That's going to always kind of hit them a little bit on the BTC efficiency-wise. Next is going to be Hive. So Hive did really good on BTC per exahash, days mined. BTC HODL was okay, along with month-over-month BTC mined percentage. Things they need to work on is month-over-month hash rate growth, BTC mined, and then current hash rate as well. Things to work on. Then we got Cypher. Cypher came in at number 3 spot, so they did pretty good on month-over-month percentage, month-over-month hash rate percentage as well. And they came in kind of a little bit average here on BTC mined, current hash rate. BTC HODL, well, could use improving. Days mined also improving, and BTC per exahash efficiency improving as well. But like I said, with Marathon, the more they're installing miners, the more that's going to take a hit on their efficiency here. Next is going to be Riot. Riot, current hash rate, number 1. BTC mine number 2 spot, BTC HODL number 3 spot. Their biggest thing is the uptime that they have. They do a lot of curtailment as well. And that gives them a pretty low score for efficiency wise. And then their month-over-month percentage hash rate growth, I think they're going to be installing some more miners coming up here in this month, but they're also pretty big. So any increase that they do have is not as big as some of the other smaller miners that are out there. So maybe we should include the actual petahash or exahash increase each month to See how much each one is improving by that. That might be another thing to look at as well. Next is CleanSpark. CleanSpark came in pretty good in days mined, current hash rate, BTC mined as well, and pretty good on BTC per exahash efficiency. The things that they need to work on are month-over-month BTC mined percentage and month-over-month percentage hash rate growth, which they're going to be pretty flat, I think, for the next couple of months, unless something changes, but they're still waiting on one of their sites to get built out to have room for the 2.2 exahash coming online. Next is going to be, let's see here, Iris. Iris came in number 1 for days mined. They were tied with a couple others. BTC per exahash was really good too, number 3 spot. Month-over-month percentage wasn't too bad, was 5, but then they have to work on the month-over-month BTC mined percentage. BTC mined, current hash rate, and well, BTC hodled, depending on how you look at it. If you're in for hodl or not, you could go either way on that one. Bitfarms, pretty average here across the board, except for month-over-month BTC mined percentage. That has put them in, well, pretty much close to the worst spot here. 14, that really hurt them this time around, and we'll see if they can improve on that. Next is TeraWulf. TeraWulf did pretty good here on month-over-month percentage hash rate, days mined, and then they got to improve on current hash rate, BTC mined, month-over-month BTC percentage mined, and BTC per exahash efficiency as well. Things to improve on. Argo, month-over-month percentage, let's see what else. Month-over-month BTC mined percentage wasn't too bad at number 4 spot. And everything else that they got to really improve on. Yeah, BitDigital came in pretty average here across the board. No, not leading in anything. Biggest thing is month-over-month BTC mined percentage. BTC mined as well, need to improve on that. And, well, that would mean that they have to grow their hash rate. And you got DMG. DMG came in number 1 with BTC per exahash, so that was good. Number 3, days mined. And then they got to improve on the rest of the stuff as well. Finally, we got Hut 8 here. Hut 8 had, let's see here, BTC hodled, so number 2 spot there, but everything else, you can see it's pretty much at average or above average line, which is the 8 line here, which that has to improve. That's not good. So they got a lot of work to do ahead of them. Then we got Mawson. Mawson did pretty good here, month-over-month BTC mined percentage-wise, and everything else they got to improve on. And then DigiHost, well, they did pretty good on month-over-month percentage hash rate growth, but everything else has to be improved as well. And then lastly, we got Sphere, which Sphere didn't report anything. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys thought of Hive coming in number 1 for the 5 metrics, Marathon coming in for the 7 metrics number 1. And did you guys actually think that it was going to happen? The other thing that I noted was Cyphers coming out of nowhere, coming into the top 5 spot, which is kind of nice to see. We'll see if they can continue this trend going forward as well. And then we'll see if some of the other miners that used to be in the number, the top 5, can get back into it as well. So we'll see how that's going to progress. Right now, we are kind of in a little low here. We do have a lot of miners that still are installing, some that are kind of waiting for stuff to come in, and some that just don't have any growth plans right now. So it's kind of like Bitcoin keeps going up and hash rate keeps going up. They're going to be generating less and less Bitcoin each month as it is, unless they start growing. That is it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. Thank you to all my Patreon members for their continued support. They will get this spreadsheet updated here tonight, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day.